Hey everyone, this is Miz Moffatt from across the Litoverse. Yes, I return with an even longer book haul to share with you fine readers out there. If you haven't seen round 1 of this epic book haul yet, you can feel free to click in this area to do so. Or you can hang out here and I can continue to show you my poor impulse control when it comes to buying books. When we worked at convention in Edmonton at the start of November, I bought a fair amount of groceries to feed our staff. And naturally, instead of getting cash back for those purchases, I opted to use them as a store credit to buy some books. I can assure you it's fun and difficult to work with items you always want to purchase. First, I got The Amazing Screw-On Head and Other Curious Objects by Mike Mignola. You probably know Mike Mignola as the creator of the Hellboy series, and this is a mini-series filled with Victorian flying machines, tomb robberies, supernatural creatures, and of course a mechanical head. I've wanted to check it out for ages and now it's mine. Next is Joe the Barbarian by Grant Morrison and Sean Murphy. One evening, Joe finds himself transported to a fantasy world where the inhabitants are turning to him as a hero. However, Joe's not sure if this situation is real or if his insulin levels are reaching a dangerous low. Either way, he's got to finish this quest or it's going to be his final adventure. I have a soft spot for Sean Murphy's art, and with a concept like that, can't go wrong. I also picked up volume 5 of the horribly awkward though highly entertaining manga series. No matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault I'm not popular. It's so painful to read at times, and therein lies the pleasure. I also got a letter to Momo with this trade-in as well, and I know it's not a book, but it has yokai in it. And seriously, tell me a book or a film features yokai and I'll buy it. And the film has a Miyazaki flavor to it, so I felt I could mention it here. Twice a year, my local library has a fierce 5-day book sale where books are sold by the pound. $1.50 per pound. It's pure and addictive insanity all around. I got to attend on the Thursday this year, which worked out beautifully because I learned 50 boxes of sci-fi and fantasy books have been donated to this particular sale. I admit the library definitely needs more room for this sale at this point. About 2/3 of their collection were still in boxes under the tables, and they kind of discouraged people from going through the boxes. And I sorta maybe started opening boxes, and then maybe kinda 4 other people started joining in. So I'm a rebellious book buyer, but my efforts were rewarded. I picked up The Shadowed Sun, which is book 2 of the Dreamblood trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. Jemisin writes some sexy fantasy, let me tell you, and her trilogies can technically be read out of order. She sets her stories within the same universe, but they often take place at different time periods and with different characters, which I quite appreciate. I read the first book over a particularly hot summer weekend back in 2012, and given the series is influenced by ancient Egyptian culture, it made for the perfect reading experience. Next is Machine Man by Max Berry. I definitely saw this book on IO9 a few years back, and it must have left an impression. From what I understand of the jacket copy, Machine Man involves a gent who loses a leg and has it replaced with an artificial limb, and then proceeds to refashion himself as a machine. Sounds like magic. Then I found Let the Right One In by John Ajvid Lindqvist. It's a movie cover, I know, but I've heard such brilliant reviews about this book, and let's be honest, it probably cost me about $2. I know it's vampire lit, and I've heard it's quite terrifying. I'm also a little odd because I like reading horror novels, but I'm also kind of a wimp about horror novels. Case in point, my experience reading Mark Z. Danielowski's House of Leaves. I had to sleep with the lights on for 2 nights while reading that book, and I loved it. Not the disrupted sleep, but the book itself was amazing. So I might be repeating the experience here. Last, I found a mint condition copy of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This was hiding in a box. Look at this. It looks like it's never been read. This is why I broke the rules of the book sale. I know nothing about this book except that the author is a friend of John Green's and that everyone who has read it has loved it immensely. And that is all I need to know. Whew, what a book haul. I actually left a few books off this haul too. That's how wonderfully ridiculous my book buying has been in the past month. And the other hilarious thing about this book haul is that people have been loaning me books over this time as well, and I've been reading those first. I was talking with a couple of my coworkers earlier this week about our to-be-read pile, and we were joking about taking pictures of our stacks and competing over who is the champion of unread books. And I think I'm a strong contender here. Anyhow, it's lovely to be back, and I hope to post some reviews soon. Signing off.